Ready? Smile. There you go. Let's see why did that go out of focus? That would be hilarious if that was out of focus. I got a picture of you right here, but today I have a special video because I'm going to be talking to you about a special talk that I did for the local chamber, in which they asked me to come in and do a talk along with a friend of mine, Vicky Hoffman, to talk about media and talk about branding and how it can help small businesses here in the community so they can grow and engage in social media a little bit better. Now, when I was putting together this whole presentation, everything was going fantastic. And the presentation was great. People loved it and had a good time. And I was recording it to share it with you guys. And here's a little tidbit of that and how it was going. But I also wanted to soften you up to talk about social media. I know that this is a divisive topic sometimes. Social media can be good or bad, but there's a lot of things that come with it. Unfortunately, while preparing for everything else, I forgot to charge the microphones, and this happened. And they have some great Canva has revolutionized the design industry. They can create amazing templates. I know, it sucks. Right when I was doing so good, the microphones died. And I didn't have anybody monitoring the camera, so the rest of the presentation was just no audio whatsoever. So fear not, I am right here to give this presentation to you, because I think I got some really cool things to talk about, and I think you guys are gonna find it helpful. So without any further ado, here's a little bit about media and social media and how it can help you develop your business, your brand, and your services, okay? Now, who remembers this campaign? Back in the day, this was an amazing campaign by Wendy's, and everybody was asking, where's the beef? Where's the beef? It has transcended television advertising, and you can hear it even to this day. You hear people asking, where's the beef? Where's the beef, right? And then Steve Jobs came along and did an integrated campaign, and he put 1,000 songs in your pocket. And people, you could see this advertising campaign all over the place, right? You had billboards, you had buses, you had TV ads, you had websites, you had banner ads, you had things all over the place promoting the iPod, that iconic silhouette with the headphones coming off of you and going into the iPod, right? So it was an amazing campaign, and it was really transcendent. And now we're in the world of Jimmy and Mr. Beast, and he's got over 300 million subscribers on YouTube, and he's creating incredible content, spending millions and millions of dollars on the stuff that he's doing. He's also developed businesses like Feastables and Mr. Beast Burger, and he's also trying to do some good for different communities around the world with Mr. Beast Philanthropy. Now, he's a little bit of a controversial figure nowadays, but what he's been able to do around content, you can't argue, because it's just been completely revolutionizing the way content is created nowadays. Before we get into the whole media concept, you might be asking yourself, who the heck am I? Who the heck is this guy? I don't know why I should be listening to him, and I agree with you. But let me give you a little background on myself. For the past 20 years, I've been working in the advertising industry, film and television, and I've been working with some really high-end clients and doing all sorts of really cool campaigns with some really, really great people. So what I wanted to do is take a lot of the things that I learned working in those type of campaigns and kind of bring them into Main Street. And I've been working with some companies here locally to develop their social media, to develop their branding campaign, to develop their websites, their messaging. And I've been able to do that for the past few years through the Good Studio, and we've had some really great results. Let's get into media and some of the history of it, right? It all started kind of like with the printing press back in the 1400s, when with the Gutenberg press. And we went from, being able to handwrite maybe like 40 pages a day to doing 3,600 pages a day. So that completely revolutionized the way that we shared information back in the day, right? And it was like that for many, many, many years. Then came the radio, and we had these big pieces of furniture in our living rooms, and we would gather around and we would listen to amazing stories and news and all sorts of crazy different variety shows and things like that, right? And for a long time, that's the way it was. And then, are you still with me? I had to add a little picture of a cat here. We're going to be talking about social media later, and if anything about social media, you gotta have cats. So I hope I still have your attention. If you're still there, type cats down below. But then we moved into television and film, right? And then we were transformed, and our eyeballs were like, having this delicious, visuals that we could see and see worlds, and you can see everything that was happening in front of us, and we were transported. And we were able to, follow the news, and we were able to see amazing events happening right there in front of our eyes. And television and film were king for a long, long time. And then we had the internet. The internet came, and it was the information superhighway. And do you remember the sound? Yeah, that was the sound of us trying to connect to the internet to be able to access all this information. But it connected the whole world, and we were able to access information and connect with each other in a way that we were never able to through any other form of medium before. Now, Are you still with me? If I had a picture of a cat before, of course I'm gonna have a picture of a dog. I gotta appeal to all my dog lovers out there. But I also have a little secret, is that I'm trying to soften you up to talk about social media. Now I know social media can be a controversial topic. It happens to all of us. It can be good or it can be bad, but there's a lot of things that can be done with social media that are really, really good. And because of it, we were able to connect with people all over the world and follow our families' lives. Even though we might be separated by vast distances, we were able to connect with them. We've made friendships through social media, and we've been able to develop businesses. So even though social media can be a little controversial, it can also do a lot of really good things. Now, we can look at all the different types of mediums that we have out there. We have print, we have radio, we have television, we have all that way, we have social media. You're like, oh my God, how can I even, keep up with all this stuff? And you couldn't. Back in the day, you needed an advertising agency to be able to manage all these things for you, right? So that's kind of like where the world was, where it's like you needed to create billboards, you needed to create print ads, you needed to create television, you needed to create banner ads for the websites, you needed to create social media campaigns. It's a lot to manage, right? But today I just want to focus on social media. There's a lot of things that can be done with social media. If you do use it effectively, you can track the people, you can track the effectiveness of your campaigns. You can find the right audience where they're at. You can go where they are. You don't have to try to chase them everywhere. You don't have to just put a billboard on the side of the road and hope that somebody sees it and gives you a call, right? So social media can be very effective in targeting the audience that you're looking for your business, for your brand, for your service, or whatever it may be. Now you might be asking yourself, there's a lot of social media platforms out there to keep track of. I can't possibly go and create content for all these things. And you know what? I get it. This is what I recommend my clients to focus on. I tell them to focus on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and TikTok. Why am I telling my clients to focus on these? Pretty simple. This is where most of the audiences are at right now, and they have the best user interfaces, and they're their most well-known, most recognized social media platforms. Now, if you want to find out more and dive deep into the demographics and all the different statistics about social media, you can follow this link right here. You can follow all the information you need. Now, recently, my son was asking for a pig for a pet. For the longest time, he just wanted a pig. He wanted a pig. We ended up getting a pig, so I figured I would share here for my pig lovers out there. If you like pigs, tell me in the comments below. Are you having a good experience with them so far? Because they're very lovable, but man, they can be quite messy to take care of. Now, we've arrived at a point in this presentation where I had to give you a hot take. I cannot stand this word. The word content, I cannot stand. It's such a weird and dull and blah word. And you might be asking yourself, what the heck is content? I get it, I don't like it, but this is what content is. It can be a blog post, it can be a link, it can be a photograph, it can be a video, it can be a merchandise, a website, a news article. It can be all those things that get kind of pulled together into this one catch-all word that's called content. And that's the word that's used out there to describe all the things that you produce in order to get your messaging out there. Now, should you be posting the same piece of content to all the different social media sites? And the short answer is no. You want to focus your message to the different types of platforms that you have out there. Now, which one should you post to? I'll give you a brief analogy or metaphor what each one is kind of like, all right? Facebook, imagine being an extension of your website, or the white pages where you go and find out information about your website. It's a place where you go to find out information about your company, your service, or your brand, or whatever it might be. You can have links on there, you can have infographics, photos, videos, news articles, whatever it may be. You can post all the information there to stay up to date. You can have events that you can share with the community to promote a specific product or service or an event that you have coming up. There's a lot of things you can do with Facebook that you can't do with some of the other social media platforms. Now let's move on to Instagram. Instagram, imagine you have your very own magazine and you can highlight some of the best features that you have about your product or service, about your brand. Imagine amazing photographs or really cool videos or infographics and carousels and stories. Things that you can share that are very high quality, so you can share the best version of your brand or service or product. Then you have YouTube. YouTube is a juggernaut. You can have so many things when it comes to grabbing people's attention on YouTube. It's not even funny. Imagine YouTube being your own TV station when you can have all sorts of videos about your product or your service or brand. You can have a podcast clips of things that you're talking about. Let's say you're an expert in a certain field. You can bring your podcast into YouTube and reach a greater audience. And now YouTube is even diving into video games to try to maintain your attention even more. So YouTube is evolving, and imagine it, your big media conglomerate that you can It's your Fox News, it's your ABC, it's your NBC, it's your MTV, it's your TLC. It's your own unique TV channel that you can use to communicate your message. Now, when it comes to LinkedIn, imagine it be your local chamber of commerce. This is where your networking comes from, where you can connect with other businesses to business, where you can connect with the recruitment. Let's say that you want to find certain employees. This is your water cooler where you talk about things related to your industry. So this is kind of like your more professional platform where you can communicate with people related to your field. And last but not least, let's talk about TikTok. If you want to reach today's youth, today's younger audience, your youngest demographic, you got to go on TikTok. This is the place where you can let your hair down a little bit. You can follow some cool trends. You can do some cool things and just kind of like have fun with your brand. And this is where you can connect with a younger audience. And the funny thing is that now TikTok is implementing photographs in their algorithm to try to stand out, which is kind of competing with Instagram, and Instagram is trying to compete with TikTok. So you can try to go back and forth with those two, but the younger demographic will usually be more on TikTok. You hungry yet? Are you still with me? I know I just gave you a lot of information, and I'm giving a little visual, I'm trying to satisfy your visual taste buds with a nice, delicious banana. Now, how can I create all that content? That's a good question, and it's not very easy to do, right? But I'm gonna give you some tools and platforms that are gonna help you create some of that content for those blog posts, for the photographs, videos, and all those things. These are some of the tools you can use in order to make your job a lot easier. If you wanna find some really cool photographs and create some templates for infographics and things like that, I highly recommend you can go with some of these websites. Canva is your all-in-one shop for creating really cool graphics, whether it be for stories or your posts on Instagram, on Facebook. You can create video thumbnails. You can create all sorts of templates and find some really cool stock images in here. If you're looking for some free stuff, you can go to pexels.com. You also have stock and iStock Photo to find some really cool photographs for whatever content you want to create. In terms of video, these are some great platforms where you can find music, where you can find stock footage, where you can find video templates, where you can find video filters, where you can help you edit faster. These are some of the tools that you can use to really create highly engaging video content for your service, for your brand, for your platform. I personally use Artlist quite a bit. They even have a AI voiceover tool that you can use now. So they're constantly adding more and more services to these different platforms, and they're making them very, very robust when it comes to video services. If you want to find some free stock footage, you go to cover.co and you can find some free stock footage right there. Still with me? Now it's going to get a little scary because we're going to be talking about AI. And I know that AI can be scary for a lot of people. And thinking about that, I went to a platform and I was like, hey, can you show me what it would look like for AI when it takes over the world, right? Because that's what we're all thinking. We're all thinking Terminator right here, right? Well, this is what it gave me. Exactly what we're imagining is going to happen with AI. But don't be afraid. You know why? Because it also gave me this. Not so scary, right? Now, I don't mind it if AI is going to be giving me my chicken fingers and fries and my pizzas and my burgers, right? That'll be fine, but it also gave me this. So while we might be taking care of the planet and might be more green, we're also gonna have Big Brother watching us and watching every move that we make. But believe it or not, there are a lot of really cool tools that we can use in AI to produce really good content. I mean, a lot of tools. This is a website that I found with a lot of the AI platforms that are being funded and developed right now. I had to zoom so far out and I still couldn't get all of it. And there are a lot of them, but you know what? Don't worry. I pick some out that I use every day to help my clients create content. Personally, I use ChatGPT to do development of ideas, trying to come up with different concepts, trying to create some scripts for the different videos that I make, trying to figure out what my right audience is. There's a lot of things that you can use with ChatGPT and it's constantly evolving. And you can even talk to it now. You can even have a conversation and be like, hey, who do you think I should target if I'm trying to sell this type of product or whatever? And it will tell you based on a whole bunch of data that's accumulated over the years what the right move is. Now let's say that you want to create some really cool voiceovers or sound effects. 11 Labs has got a great library of voiceovers that is developed through the years, and you can either write a script and put it in there, it'll give you a voiceover, or you can actually record your voice, input it into the service, and it'll give you a different voice version of it, and then you can use it in whatever content you want to create. Now let's say that you want to create a specific content and you want to see if pigs could fly while drinking a Pepsi, what would that look like, right? You can input it into Midjourney and it will give you all sorts of options. And the more you practice, the better you can get at it and you can come up with some really cool ideas for developing content. And last but not least, you have Runway. Runway started as a way for you to edit video, but now they have text to video, you have image to video, you have video to video. There's a lot of things you can do with AI within Runway to create some really interesting results. Personally speaking, I don't think it's quite there yet when it comes to like creating video to video or things like that. It's still, hallucinating and creating some wild images out there, but it's constantly being developed and improved, and you can create some really cool things with it. Now you can go out today and do all these things yourself. You can create really good content with all the different things that I'm giving you today. Or hear me out on this one, you can just hire someone like me who can just focus on developing your content, on your communication strategy, and you can focus on what you do best, running your business, because there's a lot of things you got to worry about when you're running your business. You got to worry about payroll, you got to worry about insurance, you got to worry about supply and demand, you got to work at scheduling. There's so many things you got to worry about when you're running a business. The last thing you should be worrying about is, what was the platform again for the... We can help you out with all those things. We'll have a conversation with you, we'll figure out what the best strategy is, and we'll create all this content for you. Now, before we leave, I just want to share one quick thing with you guys, and that is that I'll be doing some workshops here coming up soon this fall. The first one is coming up soon on Monday, September 30th, and we're going to be talking about the basics of social media, developing consistent branding throughout the different platforms, finding the right audience, finding the right message, and it'll help you get started with the free digital assets that you can create, so you can create some easy content to start getting your social media ball rolling. Later on, we're going to have a photography workshop, and I'm going to help you get the best out of this phone right here to get some really cool images, and you can use it to promote some really good product shots, for example. If you go into an event and take some cool pictures, we're going to dive into some cool principles of photography. And then after that, we're going to learn about video. We're going to learn about storytelling and crafting a good story and how to stand out. Because whether we like it or not, all the social media platforms are heavily focused on video nowadays. So you got to learn how to do video, how to properly tell a story, so you can engage your audience and you can be able to promote yourself. So if you don't want to miss any of the workshops that we have coming up, make sure to follow us on all our social media channels. I'll be sharing all the information that we're going to be doing, as well as the dates and the links where you can sign up. Go to our website, see all the things that we can do for you, for your business. And I'm always sharing different tips and ideas that you can do to create some really good content along the way. I hope this video has been very helpful for you. We had some great feedback during the Chamber of Commerce presentation that we did, and we have some really great questions, and I would love to hear questions from you. If you found some of the stuff helpful, if you have some questions about social media that you would like answered, leave them down in the comments below, and I'll be happy to jump in there and answer those questions for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, stay safe and do good. Bye.